Hi everyone. I hope you're doing all right today. I just wanted to make another quick video here to show you some of the stuff that I've been working on since our meeting on Monday. First, I'd like to take a look at the sponsors and show you some of the changes that we've made there. So let me just pull up a sample sponsor here. Now the first thing you'll see on this page, I've added a little kind of quick info box here to pull in their current contract. Now again, we haven't gotten around to styling this page a little bit better yet, but that'll happen. But just wanted to get the data on here so that we can move it around when we need to. But now at a quick glance, you'll see their current contract. And if you click this right here, this is going to show you a PDF of their contract. So just by going to the sponsor page, you can quickly get a PDF of their most current contract. And we can also see the effective and the expiration dates for the contract. It's going to let me know right now that it's a renewal. I've added an option for outright purchases, so if it is an outright purchase, it's going to show right there. I also added a calculation for the price per room, and that's based on their overall total, and then the formula of $1 per room per month. So actually, they're doing 46 cents per room per month in this current calculation with this price. So that's going to pull in automatically for every contract now, and on every sponsor that they have those. Another change I've made over here is for the contract hotels now, we're listing the effective and the expiration date for all of them added to the sponsor now. So those are, we were already collecting them, but now they're listed right here so you can see them easily. Let's go into the contracts. Oh, actually, I'll show you locations real quick. One other thing I did, I added the special phone number that you were asking about. And right now I'm just calling it the special phone because I didn't have a good note on what it was actually called. But once you give me the what it's actually called, I'll just change that over there. But we're collecting it now. That's all I really wanted to show you there. All right, so let's go into the contracts. And this page is still the same, but we've added a couple new features and some things function a little bit differently. So let's go in and edit this one and take a look at it. All right, like I said, I've added an option for outright purchase, so you can check that now, yes or no, if you want to. So that's just another way that we can narrow these down and do some reporting later. I also added on the contract hotels, we've got effective and expiration dates on the contract now for them. New sale or renewal, I think we had those before, but I've also added stand count now. So now we can say, we don't have to base it just off of the rooms. Now we can say when we add them to the contract, okay, they're getting this many total stands, and then we can use that to do our counting and catalog how much stuff we need to keep track of for each hotel. And I also added a notes field for each hotel. So if you have specific notes when you're adding this to the hotel, you can add them right there. And then again down here we have the price per room, which I've added here. And what I actually did is I wrote a little function that will perform all of these calculations for us basically. So anywhere that we're looking at a contract, it's really easy now for me to pull in what the price per room is, what their payment schedule is, what their discount, total rooms, all that stuff. So that's already written now, so we can use that over and over again. All right, so that's about it for the contracts right now. Let me move on here. One of the things we talked about in the meeting were some kind of template emails that you can send to new GMs or send people their contract or do stuff like that. So I've added something that can handle that, and I think that'll be good for the future for us. If we go to the message admin, that's where this is located at. This page is all the same still, except that we've got a new option over here for manage templates. Now if I click this here, it's going to take me to a page that lists all the templates that I've currently got. So right now you can see that I've made two of them. I've made a hotel agreement form template and a new email for hotel GMs template. You can either click to edit these or we can just add a new one. So let's just edit this one real quick. It'll bring up this dialog here and it's going to load in just a moment here what the template is. So the template name, this is just for your benefit. This is so that you guys can catalog and organize these things because they may have the same subject sometimes. But you can put these in, hotel agreement form for whatever. The subject, this is what the subject of the email is going to be. This is who it's going to be from by default and the from email address by default. And then the message goes right down in here. So what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to start new emails and import these templates really easily, and I'll show you that in just a moment. But you can also manipulate them from over here. All right, so let's go back to the messages here. And just to show you how this is going to work, we're going to create a brand new message. And you see here, other than my name and my email address, which it grabs from my user account that I'm logged in with, we've got no base information to start with. but we do have a button up here that says Use Template. So if we click that one here, we get a list of all the templates we currently have. And as you make more, they're just going to show up in a list down below here. You don't need to do anything to this page. They'll just show up as they should. So let's say we want to do a new email for the hotel GM. So we're going to use that template. Now I'll have to give it a second. There's just my slow internet here. And it's going to load this into the message editor. So we've loaded in my message, my title, my subject, everything that we set up in the template editor before. And then we save it. And there we go. It's that easy to pull in a template email that we've set up for somebody. So that's the first change to that one. So that should make it really easy if you've got a message that you send out just over and over and over again. You're not going to have to worry about trying to save that each time. It's just going to be saved once, and then you can just pull it in. And the other really nice thing about this is once you've pulled it in there and it puts it into this box, you can change it however you want. So if you send an email that is 90% the same all the time, but 10% of it differs a little bit, you can set up a template for that, pull it in, and then just type in the box and change it. That's not going to change the template. It's just going to change this one individual email. So that's going to be a really nice thing for you guys for using that. All right. So that's the template editor. I'll show you something else about that in just a little bit. I made it so we can pull in some additional data as well. But before we get to that, I would like to take a look at the changes that I made to the agreement manager so far. Again, this is just based off of some feedback that you guys provided. This is still the same. We get new and existing ones, so we'll just look at an existing one that I've set up. And you'll see already that we've got a few additional options here. But first I'd like to edit one. So we'll just edit the hotel here. This again still looks pretty much the same. We're going to change the look of this again, make it a little bit nicer. But one thing I have done for you here is on the edit page, I've changed all these times to drop downs. And I also set default times as well. So when you come in here for the very first time after you create this, there will be a default checkout of 11 and default pool hours and default breakfast hours. So hopefully you should be coming in here and just changing these slightly. But now you can just pick from a nice drop down of times instead of having to enter in whatever else. And I've set up Monday through Friday and Saturday and Sunday for both of these. Checkout time I just left as one field, but if you think we need a separate one for Monday through Friday and Saturday through Sunday, just let me know. That's something easy I can set up. I think that's the only thing I changed here. Yep, just added all those boxes here. All right, and yep, that's pretty much everything we have that we've added there. Now, if we're going to view the agreement, though, that's where I have made some changes here. So we'll click and view the one we were just looking at. Now, this is still the same. We can either view just the hotel, just the sponsor, or both. But I also made a checkbox for viewing without signatures. So if you want to view any of these ones without the signatures on them, just click that box, and they'll show up without them. But let's take a look at both of them just for now. I've cleaned these up quite a bit. All right, so here's how the hotel one will look. So it's just got the same information that's on the current form, their information and signature, the additional hotel info that we were looking for, and then any notes that you've added. So this is the one just for the hotels. That's exactly how that's going to show up, just with their information in it each time. And like I've always said, if you need me to add anything to this, you need to change it at all, just let me know. Once the data's in there, it's easy to manipulate it from here. And then here we've got the sponsor one. So again, same thing. We put a banner on it. We've got all of their basic information here and their signature, all the notes and their information here. So those are all cleaned up now and pretty much finished, like I said, unless you want to add things to them. And one additional thing that I've added is now you can email these directly to the hotel or the sponsor right from here. And this will be at any point in the agreement, so it doesn't have to be finished. Like this one here, this is definitely not finished because we don't have a sponsor for it, but we still have an email option to the hotel if we decide to do that. So let's choose one of these ones up here. Let's say we want to email it to the sponsor. All we have to do is click that email button. And we'll give it a moment here. It's going to take us to the message editor where we were before, and you'll see here we've already got an attachment for the sponsorship agreement form, which if we load it up here, just take a moment to download it. And then we've got the sponsor one, just that we asked for right there. The way I set it up is if you click for the hotel, it's going to send it to the hotel one. If you click on the sponsor, it's going to send it to the sponsor agreement. And again, if you need me to change that, I can definitely change that, but I figured that would be easiest for now. But another thing you'll notice here is it's already added Pizza Hut as a recipient. So really the only thing that I haven't done yet is written my message. And using the new templating system, if you've already written a message for the hotel agreement form, for example, you can click and use that template, We'll let it load up here again, my slow internet. And save it. And there we go. My email is pretty much done to send that agreement out. You'll see here, just pulled in all the message content. We've still got my recipient and my attachments. So we're good to go. As soon as we send this message, it will send it out. One other thing that I've added to this message editor is you were asking me before about adding or sending emails to the hotel and the general manager and the contact and things like that. So what I've done is when you add somebody as a recipient now, it's going to look for the main email address, but also the GM email address and the contact email address, and then add them all in there. If they're the same or it finds any duplicate ones, it's only going to send it one email, so you're not going to have to worry about that. But otherwise, it's going to pull in all the email addresses that you have set up by default for that. So that should be another nice change for you guys to be able to do that. Let's see. In addition to doing that for the agreement form, if we go back to the contracts, I've done the same thing here. So we'll go back to Dusty's here, and we'll click and look at their contracts. And we've got the email icon by the contract now. So if we click on that, it's going to do the exact same thing as the agreement form. It's going to set up Dusty as my sponsor that it's going to be sending to. It's got the contract right now that we looked for before. And we'll just pull this up just to show you. So here's the contract that we're going to be sending them. And then again, we can use a template. I haven't written one for a contract one yet, but you can easily set up a template for a contract and then pull that template right in there. And since this is going through the main message editor, all these messages are going to be recorded in their profile. So you'll be able to look and say, when was the last time I sent them their contract? And then you can go in and look and see the last time. As long as it was sent through the message editor, it will show up right there for you in the history. All right, just a couple small things I want to point out before we're done now. If we look at the hotel admin, I made a few changes here to make things a little bit easier. We'll view this one. First thing you'll notice here, we've added a current sponsor thing. So if they have a current sponsor, they'll show up right here, and then we can view their sponsorship history. I haven't written this page yet, but that one's coming. And we've also got whatever their current contract currently is, and we can view it right from here. And it will also let us know, if they're a new sale or renewal, and then what that particular hotel's effective and expiration dates are. I've also added fields for the general manager right here. So now we can put in who the general manager is, what their email is, so we can include them in mailings like I showed you before, and what the last change date was. So this will help us keep track of when the general manager last changed. And if we click on edit right here, I'll show you how this will work. Right here is the general manager field. If they're a new one, all you have to do is check that box and say continue, and it will mark a flag basically in the profile letting it know to update the date. The reason I added that is because, say, I came in here and I realized, oh, I spelled this guy's name wrong and I wanted to change it. I didn't want that to be caught up as thinking it was a new general manager. So you'll have to check that box to let it know that it's a new person. But then we can run a report and say, what hotels have changed general manager most recently that we've got in the system. So that should really help you guys keep track of that. All right, I think that's about it. I am going to write up a text version of this as well and send that to you along with the video. And I may think of some other things, and I'll let you know what our plan is going forward for the next week or two. If you have any questions, again, just let me know, and have a great weekend. Thanks, guys.